The Separatist droid army wreaked havoc across the galaxy during the Clone Wars, dragging many systems into war, and with the mass production of battle droids being deployed across the galaxy, the Separatist Alliance had their droid army ready to go. But have you ever wondered where all of the droids came from and what their full life cycle was during and after the Clone Wars? Geonosis was home to several droid factories and was the main producing hub for the Separatist droid army. Producing millions of B1 and B2 super battle droids, they also produced specialized droidicas and many of the Separatist Alliance's tanks and starfighters that were fully autonomous. Geonosis was the hub of droid manufacturing, with the Techno Union and the Geonosian Hive setting up production. And many droid factories would pop up across the galaxy as the CIS moved into new planets, basically repurposing any manufacturing factory into a droid factory. Being able to deploy thousands of new droids on new systems allowed them to gain regional dominance very quickly. And this is what a lot of the Clone Wars is clones being deployed to stop new droid factories popping up on different planets. Geonosis, as stated earlier, was the hub of droid manufacturing, but specialized BX commando droids weren't manufactured in Geonosis, but instead were manufactured on Akiva. The remote Separatist planet hosted the droid factory underneath its capital city of Mira, in its catacombs, keeping the commando droids' production a total secret and at a massive scale. And other planets hosted known droid factories, but again, none at the scale of Geonosis. And even droids like the IG Magnagar droid were manufactured by private companies, so their manufacturing location was a secret. And by the end of the Clone Wars, the vast majority of battle droids were remotely shut down. And during the time of the Imperial era, battle droids were a thing of the past, with them being outlawed and banned. So what happened to the remaining battle droids in the galaxy? Well, during the transition of the Republic to the Empire, many Separatists kept fighting, and the Empire had to quickly stamp out any remaining Separatist holdouts with battle droids that did not follow their shutdown command and were mostly independent or following new orders. And a rogue small droid army was still a threat to individual planets, cities, and spaceports. These small holdouts were quickly destroyed by the Empire, but still some of the droids were able to survive, as almost all the droids after the Clone Wars were immediately scrapped. Giant scrapyard planets like Bracca quickly filled up to tear down and repurpose the droid army for the Imperial era. The Empire saw very little use for droids, but saw value in their circuit boards and raw metals, basically scrapping them down to their raw components. Some higher level droids like the T-Series tactical droids did have their own decommissioning facilities, like on Corellia and Cornet City, where they were decommissioned in a special facility. Because of the strategic value and intelligence the T-Series tactical droids had, they couldn't fall into the wrong hands, like on Bracca, where stealing components and selling them for yourself was common. At this facility in Corellia, it was a lot more locked down. But still, some battle droids survived. But 10 years after the Clone Wars, they were a rare sight. And I would say the largest concentration of battle droids after the Clone Wars was on Kobo, where a Racta Lucrehulk ship still had its droid army intact and free of shutdown commands. And the Bedlam Raiders, ran by Dagan Gera and Ravis, amassed a small droid army for their crusade. In other instances of Separatist droids in the Imperial era was ND5, who was a singular BX commando droid working in the criminal underworld as a bodyguard and pilot, and some battle droids that were stranded on remote planets still operated in small units as if the Clone Wars were still happening, unaware of what happened in the galaxy and never getting their shutdown command. And into the New Republic and the First Order, Separatist battle droids became even more rare. Arvilla 7 hosted many repurposed B1 and B2 battle droids for simple labor tasks, but even they couldn't overwrite their original programming as battle droids. Sidon Ithlano, the Crimson Corsair, even managed to find his own cache of B2 super battle droids to be sold on the black market, and I would say this is where Separatist battle droids kind of lived on in the Star Wars galaxy, being sold on the black market for assassin droids, private security guards, pilots, collectibles, repurposed. That's where Separatist battle droids kind of survived in the Star Wars galaxy. Criminal syndicates even got their hands on some Separatist droid technology, like the Pike Syndicate with the Scorpo Neck Annihilator droid, a very rare droid to begin with, and the fact that the Pikes have them in the New Republic era makes it all the more surprising to see this technology even still alive and as powerful as ever. Other instances where CIS battle droids survived after the Clone Wars is, I would say, individual people having them as repurposed service droids. You can see that across the galaxy, but again in very individual cases. Mining guilds and planets also had Separatist technology in droids, as the mining guild was also a supplier of droids during the Clone Wars, repurposing mining or heavy equipment droids as battle droids and vice versa. But it is interesting to see where CIS battle droids end up after the Clone Wars across the Star Wars galaxy, especially now that the chapter of the Clone Wars is kind of officially wrapped up and over for Star Wars on the whole, but it is very nice to see where they still exist in the Star Wars galaxy. So with that is the complete life cycle of CIS battle droids, from their production all the way to their dismantling and overall repurposing. So with that, subscribe if you would like, comment down below, and until next video, goodbye.